A piece of pork belly for me is probably the most festive piece of meat that you could put on your holiday table. I don't eat much pork, but when I do, pork belly is fatty, it's luscious, it's delicious, and it's so intoxicating. So today I'm gonna show you 3 of my favorite pork belly recipes that you can serve to your friends and family this holiday season. I'm gonna be doing this from my home kitchen today, by the way, just to show you that all of this is achievable from your house, and it's actually quite easy to do. There's not a lot of active time, just a lot of passive time to get these right. This video is brought to you by Maggi Magic Sarap. We are making Christmas and the holidays magical again with Maggi. It is a key component and ingredient in lots of Filipino dishes, and the way we love to cook locally, just that hit of umami just makes our food so delicious much faster. So if you're like me and you're kind of time starved because of work, because you have to take care of your family and do all these different things before you actually have to start cooking and then serve people food at the same time, then something like Maggi Magic Sarap just helps bring a lot of flavor very quickly and gets really good food in your table really fast.
So this first one is kind of like an addicting pork candy. They call it pork burnt ends, but this is really a cheat recipe. Burnt ends are usually coming from larger pieces of meat that you've cooked for long periods of time on a grill. They're charred, filled with flavor, usually sweet and doused in sauce. Some people prefer the burnt ends over the actual main barbecue, and I totally get them, so this recipe is for them. Remove the skin from your pork belly, cut them up in large cubes, about 3 centimeters per side. A quick dry rub of smoked paprika, cayenne, garlic, ginger, onion powder, brown sugar, and some Maggi Magic Sarap. This goes into an oven at 125 degrees Celsius for a couple of hours. Once our burnt ends are done in the oven, toss them with some butter, honey, and maple syrup. This will just bring everything together and it'll become a beautiful sticky mess. Finish it up covered for 10 minutes in the oven. For our modified Shanghai-style braised pork, melt some rock sugar with soy and water, coat your chunks of pork belly in that glaze. That goes in with lots of water to cover. Magic Sarap, dark soy sauce, black vinegar, Shaoxing wine, mirin, and regular soy sauce. Bring this to a boil and then simmer for at least 3 hours. You can even go a bit further by adding more water if you want, just until it's nice and soft. Without the vinegar, this would be kind of like a very famous Shanghai-style braised pork, but with the addition of the vinegar, I really just think it balances out the whole dish.
Kind of like a pork adobo, except more Chinese in flavor, and just something different if you're looking for it. Now the black vinegar is definitely a non-traditional element that you would add to it, but it just adds a nice kick to it. And served on like heaping rice with all that oil, perfect for Christmas.
For our beautiful Lechon Kawali, just look at that skin. We're going to start by boiling some water with slices of ginger, garlic, black pepper, bay leaves, soy sauce. The pork belly goes in for 1 hour. Take it out and then let it cool completely. Once you're there, pat the skin dry. Next, we want to make tiny holes in it, just through the skin and the fat. Some people use barbecue sticks, others forks. I actually found that my coffee fluffer thingy-majiggy is the perfect tool for this. It makes micro holes, it doesn't go deep, and it makes tons of them really quickly. Make sure you don't pierce the meat, because if you do, those juices will rise up and then that moisture will make your crackling really kind of soggy and not as crispy. Top this with some fine salt for about an hour, and then you're going to scrape off all the salt and all the water that comes with it as well. Make sure to pat it dry right before putting it back into the fridge. So you can fry the pork at this point. You can either keep it whole or chop it, but this is where the skin texture will vary, but honestly, it'll still be good. If you want some extra crunch and bubbles, you can go ahead and roast this in the oven for about an hour at 125 degrees Celsius as well. This will help dry out the skin even further and release a bit more fat. Make sure to keep patting it dry after you take it out of the fridge, because obviously once you go from cold to hot again, you're going to develop some moisture on there. Once you're done, you can go ahead and deep fry this at 175 degrees Celsius, making sure to keep an eye out on the sides of the pork. I know you want perfect skin, but you also don't want burnt blackened pork all over. And because this is already cooked, just take it out whenever you feel like you've reached your crispiness goals. A quick little sauce of vinegar, sugar, soy sauce, chilies, spring onions, black pepper, and garlic to pair with it.